Y'all know what time it is. Why? I like to introduce the song. Bow, ha, and present to many. Ha, Carolina Panthers. Let go.
There we go again. You know we about to show out, cause we know we gon' win. We ready for the kick out, so go on, let us in, so we can get the kids on and show you how we dance. Black, blue, silver, white, black, blue, yeah, black, blue, silver, white, black, blue, yeah. Game face on, ready for whatever. Rain, sleet, snow, go through any weather. We gon' play to win, as long as we together. We gon' take it out, cause ain't nobody better. Heart of a champ, mind of a winner. All we do is win, 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 that's the anthem. Show up to your city and make a lot of noise, and they be like, who that? Panthers! Yeah, we be going hard, and we be going strong. We known very well, cause we be putting on. Losing on condone that, point blank period. Shut the lead down, cause it is that serious. There we go again. You know we about to show out, cause we know we gon' win. We ready for the kick out, so go on, let us in, so we can get the kids on and show you how we dance. Black.
What's going on, Panther Nation? This is your boy, the Black Cat, Brandon Herbert. I know everything looks a little different. I'm finally going live. So I got some new equipment coming and everything. So it should, sorry if the production is a little bit, out of whack. But I'm sorry and forgive me for skipping out on the season and everything like that. Been really busy. But this is a new season. I was waiting until about draft time to start it up. Everything is going to be started up. My website and everything, where you can find articles getting updated probably every other day, just to give you more and more content. I've been keeping the loop and everything like that. So, I haven't been just out of here, vanished or anything like that. So, my boys at the C3 podcast been doing a really good job to give us more and more content. They have all different kinds of platforms that you can get it. So if you are viewing, I do appreciate you coming back, and thank you guys for all the support that you've given me. My Facebook page still growing constantly. I get new likes every day and new follows. So as I said, I'm the Black Cat, Brandon Herbert, and let's get it. You can also follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at BlackCat1, BLACKAT1. And you can follow my Instagram, Brandon Herbert. Really don't have an Instagram for this yet. I'm just waiting to build my my credibility and everything like that. So I do appreciate it, and I know it's weird because I'm in my dorm room right now, or my barracks room right now. But yeah, so we've been not here for a little while, and everybody, I'm gonna give you my take on the season and what went wrong. The upcoming draft, which is gonna be pretty good. It's like our main needs. This draft was built for our needs this year. So it's been crazy. Like I've seen people gotten Rashawn Gary, as high as number 5, and then I've seen him drop as far as 25. I've seen somebody not even have him in the first round. I just saw a draft with Clinton Farrell, going in the top 10, which that was the first time I've seen that. So yeah, so we have so much talent in this draft for the offensive defensive line, which I will be highly upset if we don't pick, if we don't pick a offensive or defensive lineman. I can see us going linebacker if a linebacker slips to us, but we really do need to protect and to get after the passer. But before we continue, let's go hit our sponsors. Our sponsor is Herbalife. So what Herbalife is, if you guys don't know, it's a great product that they have more than just shakes and everything like that. But it basically, whatever your needs desire, like, it's to help people get healthier. And what we do is we're a health and wellness coach and everything like that. So we give out meal plans, not necessarily just these and everything like that. Yeah, so if you're interested, you can just hit me in my DMs, and then I can talk to you on Twitter or on Facebook, Brandon Herbert, or you can go to my our page, Herbie's Nutrition, and just get some more information about trying to make your life healthier, because we all know that America is one of the most unhealthy countries in the world. So we're trying to make it, build it, and make you healthier. Whether you want to lose weight, gain weight, tone up, whatever the case may be, we're there for you. So you can go to our Herbalife website if you just want to go directly. If you know what you want and everything like that, just go directly to BrandonHerbert.Herbalife or BrandonHerbert//GoHerbalife.com. Put in the code BlackCat1 and you'll receive a 10% discount on all goods. And like I said, you can hit us up. We'll do a wellness profile for free. Takes like 10 minutes to do, just so you can see where you're at in your life. All right, so got all the advertisement out of the way. So let's just talk about the season. The season obviously didn't end the way we would hope. It was probably one of the most up and down seasons. Excuse me. Probably one of the most up and down seasons that we've had so far. I think in the history of Carolina, if you think about it. Yeah, we've had bad seasons before. But I can't recollect us ever having so much of an up and down season as we've had this year, because let's face it, it was a horrible year. Not just that we finished 7-9, but it was a horrible year because, I mean, we started off 6-2, and we didn't win any more games except for the last game, and it really didn't even count because the Saints didn't play their players. I wish that we would have lost that game, to be honest, because by that time we would have probably had the 11th or 12th pick if we would have lost that game, because it didn't make sense to win. But I know why Ron Rivera wanted to win, because his job was still up in the air and everything like that. And speaking of jobs, we have a new owner. I know, like I said, I'm trying to just do a speed run through everything that happened. But David Temper, we won't really get a grasp of what type of owner he's going to be until maybe 3 or 4 years down the line. Because now I don't know if I necessarily agree with keeping Ron Rivera, but while Cam was healthy, before that Pittsburgh game, when Cam was healthy, he's looked the best he's ever looked. He looked the best he's ever looked. It's not even just the dump offs and everything like that. Norv Turner was doing a pretty good job with him. So I do get that point where, you keep Ron Rivera because you really want to keep Norv Turner, because you can't just keep Norv Turner and fire Ron Rivera because the new guy will want to hire his own staff. So I get all that, but Ron Rivera, since day one, yes, he's taken us to the Super Bowl. I got that. But since day one, he really hasn't evolved and changed in his approach. As a coach, you want to constantly have your team and your mindset and everything grow. To me, Ron Rivera is still stuck on the same thing as playing the veterans and all that kind of stuff. I don't get it. Yes, if the veterans produce, play them. But if you see that your younger players are outshining and I get you don't want to throw everything on them at one time, but if you see that they're outshining or outproducing the veterans, you should want to get them involved more and not just because of an injury or something like that. Like, it was no reason that Torrey Smith should have been in. And I have a bold prediction. I don't think he's going to make the roster this year. I think he'll be cut, because even if we cut him later on, he'll still be classified as a post-June 1st cut or whatever. And then he'll still count like $5 million in cap relief and everything like that. So, like, it won't be bad. So I get, the point of everything, why they're doing it. But, we have a great young nucleus of talent, with DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. I think they'll be our 1-2 punch for the most part, at least, because I don't see anybody, unless we add somebody a little later or trade for somebody or something like that. I don't really see anybody else that's going to take their spot or take the... But then again, last year, Norv Turner just had an affinity of not getting or giving the ball to Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel is an explosive athlete. He had one stretch where he touched the ball 6 times and scored 5 times off of it. Like that is the type of player he is. But I think he's more than just a gadget player. He's probably our best route runner, to be honest with you. Now, I mean, I don't get why we're not giving him more. Maybe the coaching staff doesn't think that he can handle the workload, because he has been injured the first 2 years of his career. So, hey, let's not really the first 2 years, like a year and a half of his career. He has bothered with injuries and everything, because this is his 3rd year. But this is the year that I think that we should give him the workload. I know a lot of people was talking about Christian McCaffrey, and I don't want to hear everybody talking about Christian McCaffrey can't run between the tackles and all that kind of stuff. All of you guys that are acting like you knew that he can run between the tackles and everything, and that he can carry the workload, I don't want to hear it, because I still have tweets. I saved them. I have tweets. I have people that were like, nah, he shouldn't be picked number 8. We shouldn't have picked him, blah blah blah. But now they all just like, you know what? Yeah, blah blah blah. He's great. I knew he was gonna be great, and trying to defend him. Nah, like, yeah, I know I get criticized a lot for my opinion, but like, I do a lot of work. I do a lot of film work. I watch film. Like, it's not just that I'm watching the game. I'm not even on NFL Network and having this, the All 22 or whatever you call it. I'm not even doing all that. Like, I record every game of everything that I can, and especially in the off season, I look at film. I see what was our deficiencies and what we need to improve on and everything like that. And I told everybody that Christian McCaffrey is a bona fide baller. Like, he is a playmaker. He can run in and outside the tackles. And now people still, every once and now and then, they say that, he's not big enough to take that workload. Where last year he proved that he could take the workload, and he doesn't take big hits. If you notice how he runs, he rarely takes big hits. I mean, he'll put his shoulder in and lay in the wood, but he doesn't take big hits. He's a very, very smart and patient runner. So Christian McCaffrey, he is that dude. Like, y'all just need to, I would like to have another running back that can, like, spell him a little bit. But I do think if they would actually give Cap a chance, which I don't understand why they don't give him a chance. I think that Cap can actually be a relief, because let's be honest, Chris McCaffrey's still getting 85% at least of the snaps. I'm probably going to be more because the way the NFL works, whatever the game flow is, if somebody got the hot hand, they're going to keep feeding them. So I think that Chris McCaffrey still probably is going to get 95% of the workload, but I'll just say 85 would be good for him. He can still be a playmaker and everything. I know he was hurt about not getting that 1,000, came up a few yards short, because we really sat him the last game. So I know he's already said that he's going to be shooting for that this year. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey, I love the kid. I really, really do. What went wrong basically is, Cam Newton. I am a huge critic of Cam Newton, and I don't think I've been unfair when criticizing him. But he needs to get protected better. I get that, but he also needs to basically he needs to read coverages. Not necessarily read coverages better, just make better decisions sometime, or be a little bit more accurate. And I know that's going to get a lot of Carolina Panther fans, in an uproar and everything like that. I really don't care because, like Cody Lashley, we go back and forth. We went to war. We've been back and forth so much, and it's almost like, okay. I mean, you want to blame the offensive line for everything, that's fine. But in my view, Peyton Manning played behind a horrible offensive line. I mean, and you saw how horrible it was when the same offensive line, when Andrew Luck came, and he just got beat up, and you saw that how bad the offensive line was. Like, and I get it's got to be a two-way street. The receivers got to get open quickly if you're gonna have a quick release. But some sacks and everything are on Cam Newton. You can't blame everything on the offensive line. But what I do love this year, it looks like they're putting now. You still have to protect them though. You still have to protect them. So it looks like that they're building that wall around Cam Newton finally. For the first time in his career, let's be honest, he's had good players on the offensive line at times, but they never really focused on the offensive line because they utilized his ability to escape the pocket and make things happen. So, but this is the first time I think that they're actually taking it serious because Cam Newton, he needs to stay healthy. So this is the first time I think that they're actually taking it serious. And they went out, they got Paradis. They re-signed Darrell Williams, which I think that was a big move, bigger than a lot of people think. Regardless if he plays right tackle or guard or whatever the position is he plays, that was a big move, at least for this year. And I know a lot of people saying, well, he's on a one-year rental. If he performs well enough, I think Carolina might give him, because I don't think he's going to, in my opinion, I don't think even if he performs really well and makes the Pro Bowl, I do not think that he's going to get a huge deal. For some reason, I just have a gut feeling that Carolina can get away with signing him to a deal similar to how they signed Paradis. Especially if we have one of the better offensive lines. I think this might be the best offensive line Cam has ever played behind. We might have a question mark at one position, maybe left guard, or if we don't put Darrell Williams there, or right tackle. Because I do think Moton would be a heck of a left tackle. I know a lot of people don't think that, but I think he'll be a heck of a left tackle. But even if we put Moton at right tackle, because he was outstanding at right tackle, and we draft the left tackle, whatever the case may be, I think this one might be the best offensive line Cam has ever played behind. If they can gel the way that they should gel, I think it's not even close. In 2015, the line was great. They just had chemistry. They didn't have the talent that this line has potential of having. And the line showed that in the Super Bowl when we were there, that Remmers, he got ate up by Von Miller. And I think the only way we have a chance at doing something this year is to protect Cam Newton. I might say a lot of stuff and everything like that. It's no way that we're going to, not protect Cam and then have a good season. That's just point blank. Another subject I want to talk about is Marty Hurney's back. Marty Hurney's back, you know, I think, I really, really think that Marty Herney, unlike a lot of people, I think he's actually done a really good job. He's only been here a year and a half back, basically. Like, I think he's done a really good job at what he's done so far. He came in, and like I said, we don't know what DJ Moore is going to be, but DJ Moore showed promise. And keep in mind on this on DJ Moore, he didn't start technically until like I think week 6 or 7 when we played Detroit, and he was like 100 yards short of 1,000 yards. So that does say something about him. Like, so I think DJ Moore is going to be a great pick. Jackson is going to be a really good pick. I think he'll be better than Bradbury. I know some people still are on the Bradbury bandwagon. I'm not on that bandwagon. He just doesn't have the ball skills to be an elite or even really good corner. He's solid. I'm not going to say that he's garbage. He's solid. He's okay. But I would love to upgrade at that position. Like, and what I would love for us to do is freaking sign Eric Berry. Pair him with Eric Reed, which was a great signing. Like I said, I am shocked at how well Marty Herney has done. I think he really did learn from his mistakes, because if you look at how he used to be his first go round, he was overpaying players. He showed loyalty instead of using his brain, and knowing that this is what we need to do. This is the best move for the Carolina Panthers. He was always pretty decent in the draft. He was a Hall of Famer worthy in the first round, because I don't think he's missed. Excuse me. I don't think he's missed on a first round pick in the entirety of his general manager days. And I know a lot of people say Jeff Otah. Jeff Otah wasn't a bust. Jeff Otah, when he played, he was a really good tackle. He barely played, but when he did play, he was a really good tackle. You can't predict injuries. So if you want to call that a bust, I get that. I'm not going to call it a bust, because, he can't predict injury. But yeah, so Marty Herney has done a really good job this year and last year. Like I said, with the draft last year, it looks like we have some key players from last year's draft that are only going to get better. We got this year, the free agency was probably one of the better jobs that he's done in a while. And I get it on paper, but we don't know what they're going to actually be. But on paper, they look like they're going to be pretty damn good. Like, we got Paradis. Bruce Irvin, which Bruce Irvin isn't going to get a 12 sack, year or nothing like that. But he'll give you a consistent tight pass rush. He'll come in the right downs if he's used the right way. And especially if we're going to be switching to a more 3-4 base. We might not be 3-4 all the time, but we're going to be doing more 3-4. Bruce Irvin is a good, legit player for that. So, and then he can play 4-3-2 as well. So that was a good signing. Paradis, like I said, I already went over Darrell Williams, was a heck of a signing. The toughest move that I think was to walk away from Thomas Davis, which, like I said, the old general manager, Marty Herney, would have signed Thomas Davis to at least a 2-year deal. So that one was tough for me, because I'm not a huge fan of Shaq Thompson whatsoever. Shaq Thompson, I know a lot of people say, oh, Thomas Davis was there. If you look at last year, for example, Thomas Davis missed 4 games. Can you tell me of a memorable play in those 4 games that Shaq Thompson made? Shaq Thompson was out there most of the time. Where was he? Like, I don't get the people's fascination or whatever with Shaq Thompson. I would be kind of upset if we actually re-sign him to a large deal or anything like that, which I don't think we will. I think we'll let him walk. I think this is his 5th-year option. He'll be playing on $9 million or whatever the case may be. Let him prove it. But I don't think that he will. So don't be surprised if we don't re-sign him, because we're used to, think of Carolina's history. Even go back to Sam Mills. Like, think of Carolina's history. Dan Morgan, Luke Kuechly, John Beeson. We've had really good linebackers in this. It'll be a franchise that's very young. We've had really good linebackers in this franchise, and think about what they all have in common. They're playmakers. Shaq Thompson hasn't proven to be a playmaker. If you look at, think about this. This is why I was way before we did it. Way before we did it. And I got a lot of heat for it. I know. I can go back on my timeline 3 years ago. I got a lot of heat for saying that I wanted to get rid of Dave Gettleman. Now look at the reasons why I say that. Look at all the players that Dave Gettleman drafted. Every single player that Dave Gettleman drafted. Maybe 1 or 2 of them are still on the team? You got to look at that. Think about that. Nobody's on the team still. And Shaq Thompson is going to be off the team next year, more than likely. Vernon Butler, probably one of the worst first-round picks in Carolina history. Why? We passed over so many great players for them. You know that when we picked Shaq Thompson, I was screaming out the top of my lungs for Landon Collins. Landon Collins would have been a great Carolina pick. I mean, you see what he's done already. He's got him a huge deal, which I don't know if he deserved that big of a deal. But still, he's, without question, a better player than Shaq Thompson right now. So, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think that we are going to, and you can comment down below, and please, I forgot to say this, but please, I know it takes a little bit more time to do, but please do subscribe to this, and please leave a like right down there, and it goes a long way, and I appreciate it, guys. But Shaq Thompson is to me, he's gone. David Gettleman really did Carolina a disservice. And now you see this when he's going on to the Giants, and he's doing the same thing. He's getting rid of good players. OBJ, I don't understand that. OBJ, he got rid of. He got rid of Josh Norman, probably one of Carolina's biggest mistakes. Regardless if he's an elite corner, he was an elite corner for us. In our system, in Ron Rivera's system, he was an elite cornerback. He may be a good cornerback in other people's system, but he was an elite cornerback in ours. And I think you can't understate that enough. That's why I think that Jackson is having a good year or he had a good year, because our system is built for people or for corners that have that ball hawk mentality. And that's the reason that I think Bradbury struggles and everything, because he's a good cornerback. I mean, he's okay cornerback. I'm not going to say good. He's an average cornerback, but he doesn't have ball skills, so he can't succeed in this system. And I mean that I can't understate that enough. David Gettleman did so much. Vernon Butler, are we even sure he's going to make it through training camp? Are we even sure after our final roster cut he's going to make the team? He probably will, because Carolina don't want to be we wasted a pick on him. But I don't know about that. All these picks that Dave Gettleman just ruined, threw down the drain, and everything like that, we could have had some really good players. you know. Anyway, that's just how the recap of the season that I really had. Just, you know, Cam Newton. After that injury, you could really tell that he wasn't the same after that Pittsburgh game, after that one big hit. And that's another thing. If you watch that play, that's my criticism of Cam. If you watch, I know a lot of people say the offensive line, blah, blah, blah. But if you watch that play, Cam held onto the ball way too long. He wouldn't have gotten hit and threw the pick if he, and I get, yes, if I remember correctly, he did have somebody, he did have pressure in his face early, but he escaped it and tried to do too much with the ball instead of just throwing it away, live to fight for another day. That's my biggest criticism of Cam. I'm sorry. And I mean, and you can say what you want, but you know, that Detroit game, that was Cam's fault. That Washington game, that was Cam's fault. Like, I get people that want to protect our quarterback and everything like that, but if you can't, if he can't, I'm sure he's a grown man. He can take criticism, and I think now the criticism that people are going too far with is saying that we need to draft another quarterback, we need to get rid of him, trade him, whatever the case may be. That's crazy. That's insane. That's asinine. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Cam Newton is a great quarterback. A great quarterback. Probably on the edge if he can get over that hump again. If he can get back to that 2015 type where if his motion is back, if his arm is back, where he can throw the deep ball, he can, without question, be an elite quarterback. But to me, he's the top 10 quarterback. I can't say he's the top 5 quarterback. I can't say he's better than Pat Mahomes. Like, I'm not a homer. Like, I don't like those fans that can't be realistic. You know, that want to protect him and you say one bad thing about him, then you just hate Cam and all that kind of stuff. That's not what we're saying. We're pointing out some of his flaws that he needs to get better at. And trust me, Cam still probably has like 6-7 more years left. Like, who knows? Like, nowadays, the way the rule is, even though it seems like it's not that way with Cam, nowadays, quarterbacks can play into their 40s just like Tom Brady. Which, by the way, Tom Brady was not Tom Brady last year. Nobody don't want to say it, but I'll say it. Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady last year. He got lucky that D Ford stepped off sides because that would have been another pick and they wouldn't have won a Super Bowl. So, like, and he didn't play well in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't care what Skip and all these other analysts say. Anyway, that's my little rant about the Patriots because I freaking hate them. But yeah, so now, like I said, with the season, it's up and down. Like after that Pittsburgh game, we lost freaking every game except for the Saints game, which, like I explained earlier, didn't really count, didn't really matter. So, I knowing Ron Rivera, we're probably going to have an 11-win season or whatever to save his job, make the playoffs or something like that. But I don't know if he's the right coach. And I've said it before. I've said it on the C3 podcast with my boy Tony and them. I've said it plenty of times that I don't know and I don't think Ron Rivera is a Super Bowl winning coach. People say, "Oh, he took him to the Super Bowl," but did we win? Like, it's a difference in a Super Bowl winning coach and someone that is good enough that can get you around the ballpark. Like, it's a different mindset. Like, if you notice, all the coaches that have won, except for maybe Tom Coughlin, but even Tom Coughlin even found it out when he went on those runs, that you have to be like, it's regular season coaching, it's playoff coaching, and it's Super Bowl coaching. Super Bowl coaching is the most important because you're going home with or without a trophy. So when you get to the playoffs, everything is amped up. So you can't you have to play field position, but you have to play it smartly. Like, you can't just look at what the Rams did. They were up and they still went for it to seal the game. So you have to just be smart. Like, that's all. And Ron Rivera, unless his job is on the line, he doesn't play like that. He plays safe. And the only time that he did go for it was a stupid, idiotic time when we could have tied it up. Instead, I think that was Detroit. We could have tied it up, and then he went for it instead of tying it up, going to overtime. Like, I don't know what he's thinking of or everything like that. Like, that's him. And with all due respect, he's probably a good guy. He seems like a really good guy. But when it comes to our coach, I think Cam would flourish more with the offensive coach. And I know everybody say Sean McVay and everything. I love Sean McVay, by the way. But he doesn't have to be young. He can be old. I don't care. A good mind offensive coach, I think Cam would flourish with. And get somebody on the defensive side of the ball, like what's the guy from Ryan. Not Buddy Ryan, but his son. One of them, either one of them, whatever. Can somebody that can take a defense and then they can just take over and actually make that great. But you need an offensive coach, because I think Cam has maxed out, so to speak, on how great he can be with this coaching staff. And that might be an unpopular opinion, but I really do think he has maxed out. But I do think he has a lot of room to grow with the right type of coach in there. Hell, even a Todd Haley I don't want Todd Haley as the head coach, but I'm just saying as an offensive coordinator, somebody that have worked in that mold. You see what Todd Haley did to Big Ben. I know he doesn't like to admit it, but you see what Todd Haley did to Big Ben. But that's just a recap on the whole last year and everything. Let's just shift a little bit. I've already talked about the free agents and everything that we've made. A couple of free agents throw out there that I think that Carolina would be smart to go after that won't cost as much right now. Is Eric Berry. I think I said with it, pairing him with Eric Reed. I think Eric Berry is a more free-flowing type safety. He's aggressive. He might not be as fast as he used to be, but I think he'll be a very good free agent for somebody. Hopefully it's Carolina. I think Ziggy Ansah will come super cheap right now because of his shoulder, but I would do like a 2 or 3 year deal with him. So, I won't, instead of 1 year, if he does explode, then we don't have to worry about him for a couple of years. There's a few other players out there, and don't forget, a lot of Carolina Panthers fans are like, what are we going to do for slot? Don't forget Cockrell is coming back as well. So, now, like I said, let's shift to the draft. I've been adamant about us drafting a pass rusher at 16. Let me be clear. Let me be very, very clear. If there is a left tackle in the draft that happens to fall and it wouldn't be a reach at 16, I'd be fine with it. Now, I still would like us to draft a pass rusher, but I would be fine with it. But if a Brian Burns fall, a Clean Farrell, or Sweat, Marquis, I don't think that it would be smart for us to pass on that. Our pass rush has been dreadful, and a lot of times people don't realize that. Like, I watch these games more than once each year. Like, every game I watch at least 2 or 3 times, and I watch what went wrong, what went well. One of the things that was probably the most awful last year, and I get our offensive line was, but one of the things that are the most dreadful has been the pass rush. Yeah, you could say Mario Adams had 9 sacks or 9.5 sacks or something like that. But I mean, most of those came in like 3 games. Like, he wasn't consistent. Even if you don't even count the sacks, he wasn't even consistently getting pressure. Like, pressure, a lot of people don't count pressure, but pressure is really, really like what it's really like. Sacks are great, but if you are only getting like 9 sacks a season, 10 sacks a season, and you're not getting that consistent pressure, then you're only being effective, a couple plays a game. So I still remember it like it was yesterday. And Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson has one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and when we were leading, and they had to do a comeback drive, and I'm sure you all know the end results, but that was just solely because we could not get to Russell Wilson. This man had like 7-8 seconds in the pocket, at least. He probably had more. Like, I was astonished that's that game right there is when I said, you know what? We don't have anybody that can get to the passer. And I just I don't get I don't get it. But yeah, like, I think that in the draft, the Clinton Farrell will be a great pick for us. I think Marquis Sweat. I've been on Marquis Sweat before the combine and everything like that. You can look at my timeline and everything. I was saying Sweat over Farrell. I think Farrell may have the higher floor, but I think Marquis Sweat, if he reaches his potential, has the better potential, if that makes sense. Clean Farrell, great. Marquis Sweat, really good. I don't think, for some reason, I do not think that Brian Burns is going to be there. I think that he'll go before both of those guys. That's just a bold prediction on my end. I know a lot of people are saying that he doesn't have more than one move, and he just has that, speed rush. But that speed rush is very effective, And I get that he's not the biggest guy, so he might get pushed around and everything like that. But I love Burns. If he falls to us, I don't care what offensive tackle's there. I would take Burns over him. And like Cody Lashney, you can follow him at Cody Lack, is like we've actually had a discussion last week, and he finally admit that that pass rusher, it's a bigger fall than it is for offensive linemen in this draft, because this draft really is so rich with offense and defensive linemen. Though, like, Carolina shouldn't be mad. The Panther fans shouldn't be mad if we get either or, because more than likely we're getting a really good player. And if what I'm hoping is to happen in the draft is if somebody trades up for quarterbacks and everything. That's usually how it happens. That's how teams actually picking in the middle of the draft get really good players. It's because people trade up for quarterbacks. So we don't know if that's going to happen. I don't necessarily have a gut feeling that that's going to happen this year. But if it does, I could see somebody really good falling to us. Like I said, I don't know about taking a linebacker. I would not take a cornerback, a safety, or anything at 16. And I've seen one mock draft had us taking DK Metcalf. I would be furious. Now, I get Cam could have another weapon, but he needs a little bit more developing than I would take him that high. Like, he's a freak, though. I'm telling you, he's a freak. And I think he's going to be a really, really good player. But I don't know if taking him that high is the right move. I can see us now. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Hollywood Brown or somebody like that fell to us in the second round. I'm good with that, because I think that they're first round talents. But Metcalf has skyrocketed up the draft, so I would be furious, like I said, if we took him. But yeah, this has been an interesting type of podcast. This is a newer way of doing it. I know my face, may not be the best looking and everything like that, but I think that this is a better way to connect with y'all. And like I said, I just please like, comment, subscribe. That's a big thing. Subscribe, because I'm trying to get my YouTube following up a lot. I got like 100 subscribers or whatever so far. But I'm trying to get it up. And you can go to my website and you can click on the PayPal, and if you want to donate anything to the show, because that's another thing that we've been having a little bit of trouble with, is the production of it. But I think we got everything figured out where we can do it a little bit better. But if you want to contribute, even if it's just $1, go to blackcatcommunity.com and you can donate to the show. You can look at, like I said, the articles and everything. By the way, my website is also on my Twitter page. You can follow me on Twitter at blackcat1. And you can follow me on Facebook, Panther Nation 28, or you can follow me on my personal Facebook is Brandon Herbert. You can follow me on Instagram, Brandon Herbert, of course, and everything like that. But like I said, before I let you go, I just wanted to let you know again, one more time, that if you ever want to lose weight, gain weight, tone up, get muscular, whatever the case may be, hit us up at Brandon Herbert /GoHerbertLife.com. Talk to some of our health and wellness coaches. We can help you get on a plan that's good for you, or you could just the wellness profile is actually free. So if you don't want to purchase anything, you don't have to purchase anything. Just go find out how we can better help you. Do the wellness profile. Find out how we can better help you get the results that you need. I'm really excited with partnering up with Herbalife and having them here. Anyway, like it's been a pleasure, and I thank you guys so much. I hope you guys did enjoy the show, and I hope you guys saw it all the way to the end, because I'm trying. Like I said, if you got any advice whatsoever, just let me know. If it's good, bad, or whatever the case may be, I hope everything is good with everyone. I love you guys. Peace out. Oh, one more thing. Don't forget, if you're not a Panther fan, you're not a fan at all.
Y'all know what time it is. Why? I like to introduce the song. Bow, ha, and present to many. Ha, Carolina Panthers. Let go.
There we go again. You know we about to show out, cause we know we gon' win. We ready for the kick out, so go on, let us in, so we can get the kids on and show you how we dance. Black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. Here we go again. Yeah, black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. We gon' get it. Yeah. Game face on, ready for whatever. Rain, sleet, snow, go through any weather. We gon' play to win, as long as we together. We gon' take it out, cause ain't nobody better. Heart of a champ, mind of a winner. All we do is win, that's the anthem. Show up to your city and make a lot of noise, and they be like, who that? Panther! Yeah, we be going hard, and we be going strong. We known very well, cause we be putting on. Losing on condone that, point blank period. Shut the lead down, cause it is that serious. There we go again. You know we about to show out, cause we know we gon' win. We ready for the kick out, so go on, let us in, so we can get the kids on and show you how we dance. Black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. Here we go again. Yeah, black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. We gon' gon' get it in, yo.